All right, good morning, everyone. It's 10:30. So it's the detention docket for the 323rd District Court for Thursday, January 14th, 2021. It applies to the Texas Supreme Court, emergency order number 30. We are not conducting in-person proceedings, but in order to comply with the open courts provision of the Texas Constitution, we are broadcasting these proceedings on YouTube so the public can observe proceedings going on in a public courtroom. No portion of this Zoom hearing may be recorded, copied, or broadcast. Violations are punishable by contempt of court of up to 6 months in the Tarrant County Jail and a $500 fine. This is a court proceeding, so the court does expect everyone to behave appropriately for court. So please refrain from having bright lights from behind you that may shadow out your face, from walking around, being in a moving car. You may not use the lavatory while you're in court or lay down in bed. Please be dressed appropriately. And please, if you're in a car, make sure it's not a moving vehicle. All right, we're going to start with Hussein Al-Musawi. I think it's the out of custody detention hearing.
And Your Honor, I'm filling in for Mr. Graham this morning.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Keenan. Ms. Moreno, please refrain from moving around while you're in court.
Your Honor, the family is doing this out of custody from home, and the child is at home too.
This is an out of custody detention hearing. How is the child not here?
Well, the reason, Your Honor, is that the family is simply asking, he was released from detention on the 7th to go live with an aunt. The mom and the other aunt live with him normally, and they are the victims in the case. The aunt that stepped forward has fallen ill, and the family is simply asking the court's permission to allow him to return to the mother's home so she can properly care for him and supervise him. My report indicates that in my conversations with them, things are going very well at the aunt's house, and they're simply asking. I submitted a progress report, and you told me to go ahead and schedule an out of custody.
Right.
It might have been my presumption that it was going to be okay to do this through Zoom rather than, because we're not looking to put him in detention. We're just simply asking the court to allow him to live with his mother and his aunt that he lived with when the offense occurred.
So have we been able to what contacts have you had with him while he's been with the aunt?
I haven't had very much contact at all, Your Honor. Just
is he even on the camera?
He was supposed to be.
Where's Hussein?
She's muted.
Yeah, please unmute yourself. Yeah, where's Hussein?
Yes. Oh, he's over here, sir.
Over where?
The judge wants you to have him on camera.
Yeah, he's supposed
right
to be
here. Oh. Your Honor, can you see him?
Oh.
Actually, it looks like they're frozen, Judge.
Mm-hmm. Let's move to the next one until they can actually figure out how to get a child in front of the camera. Victor Alvarado.
Good morning,
Your Honor, I
Judge.
did want to make you aware that a member of the victim's family is present for the hearing.
I'm so sorry. Can you see him now?
No, you're frozen and your video's not working and Hussein's not on camera. I'm not sure why he wasn't on camera from the beginning. So we're moving on to the next one until you can figure out your connection problem. If you figure that out, then we'll have to come here to court in person. All right, so Victor Alvarado, are you here?
Yes. Yes, sir, Judge.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Alvarado, this is a 10-day detention hearing. I'm making a decision whether to keep. Second, please.
Kevin, I haven't had a chance to talk to him about the plea bargain offer we discussed yesterday, so I will call him after the hearing, but it may be nearly noon.
Understood.
And I don't see Victor's mom on here. Are you there somewhere?
Mr. Youngblood, she was on Zoom a few minutes ago. I don't know.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, there she is.
All right, Mr. Alvarado, this is a detention hearing. The point of this hearing is to make a decision whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, law says yes, have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Your attorney, Mr. Youngblood, is here. So you're 17 years old, but we're keeping you akimbo as long as your behavior level is one outstanding and your level is one outstanding.
Judge,
Yeah, Ms. Castillo, why is his behavior level only outstanding since the 7th? What happened?
Your Honor, he took contraband in his room and he was marked down to, he stayed level 1, but it was level 1 acceptable, but he got it back up to level 1 outstanding.
What was the contraband?
It was, I believe, his mail.
His mail?
Yes, Your Honor.
Was it attorney mail?
No.
Judge, if I might speak on that point.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, just to let you know, my understanding is that he's actually had 5 level drops from level 1. 2 of them were confinements since he turned 17 in last August. Just want to make the court aware of that.
Ms. Castillo, can you tell me about those?
Yes, Your Honor. If I recall correctly, 3 of those level drops were due to him being assaulted in the back, none of which he instigated. All of them were, he was physically attacked by another client in detention.
Ms. Castillo, just give me 1 second.
Yes,
Petra,
sir.
nobody wants to look at the ceiling of your car. This is court. Please be on camera. Okay, please do not be, no, you cannot attend court from a moving vehicle. So please join us.
I'm not driving. That's person.
I don't understand. Okay, so Ms. Castillo, please proceed. Oh, you're on mute. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. The other 2 were, Your Honor, he took an apple into his room, and then a second time he took playing cards in his room.
And those are all after he turned 17?
I don't recall. I believe one of them was prior and the rest were after 17.
Mr. Alvarado, your constant rule breaking on this one since you turned 17 gives me great concern. Do we have a parent here?
That was her on
That
the
was?
phone. Yes.
Yeah, so it gives me great concern that your constant rule breaking and your microaggressions, that you just don't want to follow supervision. You were on probation when these alleged aggravated assaults happened. And I gave you plenty of warning that once you turn 17, you have to do everything right. It's exempt for the kids. So I'm going to go and detain you because I feel like you're not safe for the community. I'm going to go ahead and have you housed in the downtown jail because you're not following the rules here. All right. Thank you, Mr. Alvarado.
Your Honor, may I ask I'll inform you of something. Mr. Baumberg and I have been discussing a plea bargain on his case, and we're very close to getting one. I think it would be an administrative problem for the court to handle that, but I may be wrong. If he gets moved to the downtown jail, I'm not sure how we would do the plea.
They can appear through Zoom, through the same terminals that they use for the adult courts. Or if you want it in person, we can bench them back to do the hearing in person. It's just notify the court which one you prefer.
I was thinking mostly of getting the plea paperwork filled out and so forth.
It would just be a downtown visit like you do. You just have to visit them downtown.
Okay, well, I wonder if the court could consider waiting till Friday on that so we can see whether or not we actually can get this resolved. It's been pending for a year.
Waiting till tomorrow?
Yes, sir. Does that work for you, Kevin, wherever you went?
I will defer to the court. I think it's the court's.
Well, Kevin would need to talk one more time to the victim's family, I think.
Young bud, I will give you that deference. I'll wait a day, but
okay.
Schedule tomorrow afternoon to go downtown.
All right. Well, I'll be calling Mr. Alvarado as soon as I get done with Judge Cummings' case, which comes after one more of yours, and then I'll inform the court.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, if I would just reference, I believe the victim's family is trying to get your attention.
The victim's family is trying to get.
Yes, I believe Ms. Perkins.
Miss. All right. I mean, this is a detention hearing. The victims don't have, I mean, actually, nobody has the right to say anything. This is really for the court. It's an administrative hearing. So I don't even see.
I don't think she has anything to add. I think it was just a facial expression when something was said. I don't know that she's wanting to speak.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Alvarado. All right. So the Amusawi, your camera needs to be on.
Your Honor,
It's still a court proceeding.
Your Honor, they're having trouble with their connection. I'm on the phone with them now.
Okay.
I think it's an internet issue, not necessarily that they've turned the camera off. They're trying to get back on the call.
Okay.
Your Honor, it did look like they put the child in the view at one point when you were in the other hearing. Do you want to just do it over speakerphone or have them come in right now to detention? Because
I mean, this is, because Tracy, you're kind of stuck in a weird spot because this is Mr. Graham's request. And you're filling in for him. And so, all right, well, they're there for now.
I mean, I'm going to be on the detention docket until I think the very last one. Yeah, mine's the very last one. So if they can get up to detention, I'm still here.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, they're telling me that they can hear and they can see everybody, but apparently the transmission back to us isn't working.
I'm sorry, can you say that again, Mr. Young, Mr. Richardson?
Sorry, they're telling me that they can hear and see everything, but for some reason, the transmission from their home to us through Zoom isn't working.
That's,
I don't know if that makes a difference or not.
well, I mean, it does. This is still court. I'm like, this is not negotiable, right? I mean, if you're going to be in court, you have to be in court. You can't just observe as attendee. If we were in person, people wouldn't just be able to sit there and do whatever they want, drive around in a car, smoking cigarettes in court.
Agreed. I'm checking to see if they can drive into Kimbo now.
Yeah, if not, I mean, just it's an out of custody requested hearing. So, you know, the detention, the release order would stay in place and they can come back tomorrow if they want.
Okay.
They want to be in person.
Yes, sir.
All right, Brian Hemphill. Mr. Youngblood, one of your kids is on a 10-day with Judge Porter, so we're trying to get the paperwork so we can get an order so you can get to Judge Cummings. All right. So I'm aware you're trying to work on it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Brian, are you Mr. Hemphill?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days, so I'm reviewing a case, deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. If you're not afford an attorney, we'll provide one for you. All right, Brian, you probably have like 30 priors. You've been released, cut off your monitor, assaulted some other residents. Now you're level 2, so I'm letting you know now. You're level 2, so I'm not letting you out. You're not yet 17, so you have to stay here. In August, we brought you in. We signed a warrant for cutting off your EM. And then you receive referrals for murder and aggravated robbery, which I guess, Ms. Smiley, those happened before the current case that he was released on for the EM. Is that correct?
No, Your Honor. Those happened, the aggravated robbery happened 5 days after he cut his EM off, and the murder happened the 6th day after he cut his EM off.
Okay.
And they were referred in November.
Unsuccessfully discharged from Lake Granbury.
No, Your Honor, he wasn't unsuccessfully discharged. He was accepted and they pulled their application after he received the murder referral.
Was he was on probation for burglary by habitation when these offenses came in?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, did we give him a drug test?
Let me see when he came in. Yes, Your Honor. He was positive for marijuana when he was referred in custody on August 25th.
Okay. And then is the case that he was on probation on, the burglary by habitation, was that a determinate or indeterminate?
Indeterminate.
Indeterminate, okay. Do we have a parent here?
No, she was informed of the hearing. She's not on the Zoom.
All right, Mr. Bloomberg, my understanding is the state's intending to file asking the court to waive jurisdiction over this child.
That is my understanding. This is one of Ms. Smith's cases, so I'm getting caught up right now, Judge, but that is my understanding of the.
Kevin, is it going to stay in Courtney's name or do you intend to reassign it to someone else?
No, it'll be Alex Haynes now.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. And that's been reassigned, Lisa.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
So, all right. Lisa, this is your case? Okay, I want to make sure.
Yes, Judge. It's
I didn't want to talk to a proxy. So the way I see this is set for Ms. Smiley, do we have a next court date set yet?
Yes, Your Honor. It is February the 17th.
Okay, and what is that?
That's still set as a determinate sentence hearing.
Okay. All right, so this is this is what I'm gonna do. February 17th. At least I was asking for your case to make sure. So
Yes.
February 17th, 7 determinate sentence. If the state files requesting the court waive jurisdiction, if you're ready for that, we'll go on that. If you're not ready for that, I understand they can be complicated. So we'll wait, but we will proceed on, there's a motion to modify that should be filed already. So we'll just proceed
Yes.
on the modification. So either way, we're gonna have a hearing for Mr. Hemphill,
Okay.
whether it be a certification hearing, determinate sentence hearing, or a motion to modify. Is that fair
Okay.
enough? I want to make sure you have enough notice, Ms. Eric.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so yeah, so either way, we're having a hearing. It just depends on what y'all are ready for, decides which hearing it is. Okay?
Can we go ahead, Judge, and get the diagnostic begun then?
Sure, absolutely. Ms. Smiley, can we start the full diagnostic study and investigation?
Yes, sir. We can do that.
Okay, great, thank you.
Judge, can I just make one comment? I certainly understand why you're saying what you're saying about having at least one of the hearings on the 17th. I wonder though, because if we're ultimately going to have a certification hearing, if he's certified, I don't want to speak for the prosecutors, but I can't imagine they're really going to care about the motion to modify a whole lot if he gets certified and sent downtown. So that seems like that was probably the most contingent on what happens with the others. That doesn't mean I won't do it if that's what you order. It just seems maybe not like the best use of our time.
No, I understand. The problem is that he's causing all kinds of problems here at Kimbo.
Yes, yeah.
So
Oh, I
if
see.
there's
I
enough to
understand.
commit him, at least he's getting services in TJJD if he did in fact violate his probation. That's why. If he was behaving here, I'd wait, but he's really interfering with other kids here.
I understand.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Smiley. Roshonda Henderson. All right, Ms. Henderson, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a kid's brought in, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent, your right to attorney. Ms. Paula Reed, please turn on your camera. Thank you. All right, Ms. Henderson. See, I issued a warrant for you back in October for cutting off your electronic monitor. And you've been abscond status since October. And you're currently on probation for a felony evading arrest with a motor vehicle. Give you a drug test. So while you're in probation, you're smoking weed, cut off your EM, and ran. So, all right, Roshonda. Well, one of the things I consider is if I was to release you, whether you appear for court. Do we have a parent here for Roshonda?
The parent was notified, stated that she would be here, Your Honor.
I'm here.
Are
Do you
you?
hear,
Okay,
Ms.
there we are.
Henderson?
Hello, Mom.
Yes.
Mom, do you know where she was all this time?
From my understanding, from between her mama's house and in the streets.
Oh, can I ask who you are?
No, I'm her grandmother.
You're a grandmother, okay.
Yes.
All right, but you didn't know where she was?
Like I said, partially, only thing I knew, she was either out there in the streets or with her mama.
Okay, all right, that's too bad. All right, well, Grandma, I'm afraid if I was to let her go, she'd go back to the streets. And you and I both know what happens to 15-year-old girls who live on the street, right?
I agree.
All right, Roshonda, so you're being detained. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Okay, Mr. Youngblood, I'm gonna do this one out of order of detention. There should be a Jimmy Muguruza. If y'all can get him ready, I'm gonna do that one after Dylan Moore.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Hall, do you have a conflict with one downtown as well?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, so Mr. Moore, I'm Judge Kim. This is a 10-day hearing. We're deciding whether, oh no, there's an attorney requested hearing. So I'm deciding whether to keep you here, release you. If I keep you here, you'll see a judge every 10 days. So Ms. Taylor, you requested this hearing.
Good morning. Yes, Your Honor. Thank you for accommodating. Yesterday, we were set on Mr. Moore, and we had to pass his case because they're still doing a placement search. And he's been, I'm hoping, I'll let him tell you, but I believe he's been level 1, and he is requesting release. I did see his guardian, his grandmother, on the call, so I know she is, at least was present.
All right, okay. So my first question, Mr. Lewis, he's been level 1 since January 12th. How far did he drop before then?
Let me look that up, Your Honor. He has never dropped below 2 acceptable during this current stay in detention.
All right, so this last time in January, how far did he drop down?
Two outstanding.
Okay.
Let me correct myself. 2 acceptable.
Why did he drop that far?
Not following instructions, looks like 6 violations of that.
Okay. So
And-
basically the same problems he had with grandma, which is not listening and not following the rules.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Ms. Taylor, but the idea is if I was to release him, it's the exact same situation with him demanding to grandma that she give him drug money, right? I don't think he's shown me that he's improved and that he can be respectful and follow the rules. So Dylan, I know you have your hand raised. If you want to ask me a question, I think Ms. Taylor's okay with it. If you want to tell me something, I'm sure she's not okay with it, all right? So do you have a question for me or do you want to tell me something?
It's a question.
Okay, what's your question?
I'm not finna ask my grandma for no more drug money.
No, that's not a question though. See, a question starts with a who, what, when, where, how, right? So do you have a question for me or do you want to tell me something?
It's a question.
Okay, what's
okay? How I was doing that is it because I was hanging out with the wrong people?
No, that's not a question. You're telling me something. Is there information that I have that you want to obtain?
I want to go home because I really changed.
Yeah, but that's not, you're looking for an answer. You're looking for a decision, not for an answer. You don't have a question for me, all right? So, you know what? Here's the thing. If you want to get out of here, you prove to me that it's safe to release you from here, and you haven't done that. All right?
Can I ask one more question?
You haven't asked, you can ask your first question because you haven't asked a question yet.
Can you please put me on the monitor?
Oh, I can. I'm not going to, but I can. You have to show that it's safe to release you to the community, and you haven't shown that. If you're not following the rules here, respecting our detention staff, Dylan, look at it this way. The reason why I do this, if you can respect the rules here and our detention staff, that tells me that you can respect your grandma and respect her rules. But if you can't even do it here in a secure facility, I know you're not going to do it for your grandmother. So what you can do is you can prove to me that you can follow the rules, and that tells me that I can let you go. But if you don't follow the rules here, you're not going to follow the rules at home.
This is my first time dropping low.
Well, hold on. You're not asking me a question. Ms. Taylor does not. And the reason why, Dylan, is she doesn't want you to put yourself in a spot. I don't want you to put yourself in a spot.
I don't care if I really want to go home because
I know you do. And believe it or not, I want you to go home too. But I don't want to put you in your grandmother's house where you're causing more problems. Either you follow the rules or you don't. If you don't follow the rules, you'll be in custody all the way to your maybe 19th birthday.
This ain't the place for me. I can tell you that right now.
Dylan, I disagree. Because until you start following the rules, this is the place.
I can show you so much. I was planning on to go back.
But you're not. Dylan, you're not showing me anything. You're showing me that you belong here because you don't follow the rules.
That was only one time.
So?
I done changed so much. I'm not finna lie. I'm not finna do none of that. I really want to go home because because this ain't the place.
Dylan, hold on. You're not asking me questions. Do you have any questions about what I expect from you?
I know you respect the 1-0 and I'm a 1-0.
You dropped. Do you have any questions about what I expect from you?
No, sir. I'm trying to go home.
Look,
I don't need to
Dylan, here's the thing. All your life,
Everybody's
you've had
trying to
people.
jump on me, pick on me.
Do you mind if I speak and finish my sentence, or are you not interested in what I have to say? That's a question.
You can talk, sir.
What'd you say?
You can talk.
Thank you. So my point is, all your life is you've had people that have enabled you, that let you interrupt them, grown-ups let you interrupt them, grown-ups that let you cut them off, grown-ups that are talking to you, you don't listen to them. All your life you've had that. And finally, you've met a person that's going to hold firm. I believe what I believe. I believe that children that are not 1-0 and keep it and behave will not do it at home. So either follow my rules and get out of here, or do it your way and stay here. It's that simple. Either follow the rules and get out, or ignore the rules and stay here. It's up to you.
Can I say this then?
No, it is that simple.
People
that is what it boils down to.
Fight me for no reason. And you want me to tell that stay here and then stay in this environment and people jump on me, pick on me. But you don't care. That's what you pretty much telling me right now. You're gonna
start crying now? How life is unfair? Are you done crying about how unfair life is? How things aren't right? Whose fault is it that you're here in the first place? Tell your grandmother to give you drug money.
I was not asking for no drug money. I was asking for a couple of dollars for me to get a black amount.
But Taylor, I'm sorry. I'm kind of engaging this a little bit, but there's a reason. Hopefully you can bear with me. All right. Smoking weed so you're smoking weed and it's my fault that you're here.
You can drug test me every single day.
I don't have to. You've already smoked weed. I already drug tested you.
I'm not finna smoke no more weed.
Dylan, you know what? Stop making yourself a victim. Man up. Accept responsibility for what you do. You're victimizing yourself.
Pay my medicine. I'm finna go back to school. I'm finna do all that, what I need to do, so.
Are you done blaming everyone else in the world for your misfortune?
I'm blaming my own self.
You're not blaming yourself. Man up.
I ain't manning up, like I told you.
Then why are you whining?
You're trying to jump on me, fight me for no reason.
Are you done being the victim? I'm just curious.
I'm not trying to be no victim.
You are. You are making yourself a victim.
I'm trying my hardest in here. I'm trying my hardest. You can ask my lawyer. You can ask the staff in here. You can ask my grandma. She can tell you. The staff in here can tell you. That's my first time ever dropping. And then I done asked for me to go to the back because I just asked why you take 3 points from me. Here's the problem with your attitude is that you feel like you deserve a second chance. You deserve one chance. You know what? Miss Taylor, who I've known Miss Taylor since you were in Pampers, right? And she's never smoked pot and got caught for it. And she's probably I know her well enough, she's probably never smoked pot, right? That's the thing is, you're sitting here saying, I need a second chance. I only did it once. This is the only time. You got your chance and you messed it up. I'm giving you a chance to prove it again, but you don't deserve a second chance. I'm not finna do it again. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm going back to school. I'm going to get me a job. Dylan, the problem is you shouldn't have done it the first time. I was at the wrong place at the wrong time, and so you're the victim. Somebody else's fault. It was Stop making pressure. Yourself a victim. It was peer pressure. So it's peer pressure's fault. You're making yourself a victim. I'm not trying to make myself no victim. You are though. I'm gonna go home. I'm not needing to be here. Again, you're the victim. You're in a place that you don't need to be. I'm trying my hardest every single day. Oh, so you're the victim. You're doing your hardest, but the judge is unfair. The system's unfair. Stop making yourself the victim. Man up. Like what I said, you don't want to see me go home. So it's my fault because I don't want to send you home. You're making yourself a victim. I'm not trying to make myself no victim. I'm trying my hardest every single day. So the rules are unfair because they everything I need to. The rules are unfair. You're making yourself a victim again. But y'all let kids who don't want that come back and back and back and back. Y'all let them out. But you don't want to let out. All right. You know what? Really I've made my decision. You're being detained. Thank you. Okay, do we have Jimmy Magura-Niza? Sorry, y'all. I don't think he's ever had that true conversation before in his life. And sometimes you gotta have that tough conversation.
I remember when Ray Hall tried to make himself the victim in front of his wife, and that didn't work.
It never works, Judge.
Hi, Ray.
Hey.
We're going out of order. Jimmy. So, Jimmy, I'm doing this out of order because your attorney has to be in criminal court. So, I'm Judge Kim. This is a 10-day hearing deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, you have to see a judge within 10 days. And so, you are, well, you've been here for 10 days and you were on probation for aggravated robbery. You pick up a new aggravated robbery case. And right now, you are level 1 acceptable. So I'm not going to release you. You know you have to be level 1 outstanding for me to consider releasing you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and detain you. Do we have a parent here for Jimmy?
Yes, Your Honor, she's right
All
there.
right. Mom, do you understand what I said?
Judge, can you repeat that?
Mom, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, your son is not level 1 outstanding. So if he's not level 1 outstanding, I don't even consider releasing him. All right, he needs to behave back there to get out. Okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Youngblood. Tell Judge
Thank you, Your Honor.
And thank you from Judge Cummings, Your Honor.
We have Samuel.
Oh, okay. Okay, got it.
What? Oh. Okay, I'm sorry. We're going over Abigail Grant. Is she available or do we have to wait a little bit? I don't think we've warned them. Yeah, we're going to do Abigail Grant next because Mr. Hall has a conflict with the downtown court. So at this point, we have Samuel Shimirimana with Mr. Lofton.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Mr. Lofton. All right, Samuel, I'm Judge Kim. This is a 10-day hearing deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Mr. Lofton is here. You've been here for 11 days. Your behavior level is 1 outstanding. Thank you. And so you've been here before for theft of firearm. Oh, you had a pending theft of firearm, burglary of vehicle from last May. And then now, while these cases are going on, Fort Worth PD brought you in. Victim said he's, clean out his vehicle. 2 unknown black males came up, pulled up a pistol, took the car, evading arrest in the car. And you did not appear for court, so you already had a warrant for you. All right, Samuel, so my concern is you skip court. If I let you go, I mean, I seriously consider letting you go had you not skipped court before. Samuel, do you have a question for me or do you want to tell me something?
I gotta tell you something.
Okay, your attorney does not want you to tell me anything. This is not your trial. This is simply, I need to consider, are you dangerous? If I let you go, are you dangerous to yourself? Are you dangerous to the community? Or are you not going to appear in court? Those are the 3 main concerns for me.
I got a reason why I ain't appear in court.
See, the reason's not it. That's something to talk to your attorney about, right?
Yeah.
And we can go, but I'm real hesitant because the last thing I want you to do is tell me the reason, and that comes back and hurts you, all right?
I can tell you the reason for it, and my mom, she gonna tell you too.
No, talk to your attorney about it, right? I'm telling you right now, this is not, I'm doing this to protect you. Okay? I'm not, sometimes I'm the bad guy, but I'm not always the bad guy. Right now, I'm trying to be the good guy, help you out, okay? So I just don't want you to put yourself in a spot. All right, so Jimmy, at this point, Samuel, at this point, I'm detaining you. Talk to your attorney. If that passes muster and that's a valid legal reason, like you were in the hospital or you were, in a detention facility somewhere, those may be valid reasons, but it's up to your attorney to decide, okay?
Samuel, I'll call you in the next 20 minutes, okay? Once you get back there, okay?
All right, thank you. And if it turns out, Samuel, that it's a valid reason, Mr. Lofton can request a detention hearing, and we can go over it.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Lofton. All right, do we happen to have Abigail ready? Abigail's not ready yet? All right, I'm sorry, Mr.
She's
Hall.
right here. She's coming, Judge. She's right here.
Thank you. Do we have a JPD officer in the small courtroom? Could you angle that camera down a little bit? I'm only seeing the crown of the head of the
Yes, sir. We'll move it down.
child or of the parent. All right, Abigail, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. I'm deciding whether to keep you here or to release you. If I keep you here, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. And your attorney, Mr. Hall, is here. So Abigail, you're 15 years old. You're level 1 outstanding. Good. You're domestic, got a knife, told your brother you can kill him. Brother grabbed your hand with a knife and hit you in the face. So you grabbed another knife, chased your brother. They locked themselves in a room. JPS did not think it was necessary to detain you further, so you're brought here. Mom says she is currently in quarantine, so she's not up here. I understand. Mom couldn't appear through Zoom?
Judge, she tried. She was having problems logging on.
Okay. What's her name?
Russell,
Okay. No, she appeared late, so she was been in the waiting room. All right, Christy Russell, are you here? Christy Russell? She's still connecting. All right, Raymond Bell, I'm not sure who you are, but your camera needs to be on.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. If you change your name and put CPS in front of your name, you can have your camera off.
Okay, I'll change it now.
Thank you, sir. All right, waiting on Miss Russell. Christy, can you hear me?
I know earlier she said she was having problems with her audio.
Okay. Have you had a chance to talk to her about releasing Abigail?
She said she does want her home.
Okay. Did she specifically state that she feels like her and her son are going to be safe?
Yes.
Okay. You're not implying that, right? She actually said that?
No.
Okay. Miss Blair, is she taking medication right now?
Yeah, she's been taking it in the back consistently.
Mr. Hall, do you mind if I ask her questions about her prescription or medication?
That's fine, Judge.
Abigail, you're taking your meds here. What are the side effects bad or are they okay?
There's no side effects.
Okay, oh good. You understand that I'm open to the idea of releasing you because you're level 1 outstanding. You've been taking your medication, okay? But you know that if you stop taking your medication, I'm gonna have to bring you back here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you understand if your medication, you don't like it, it's not working, the side effects are bad, you have to talk to your mom about getting your prescription adjusted, right? That's the right way to handle this. You can't just stop taking it, okay? Now, do you understand you're being accused of pulling that knife on your brother? You understand how, to a judge, if it's true that you actually pulled a knife, how it changes things. Like that's where it becomes a really big deal, right?
Yeah.
Do you understand? Like, I get it. You can argue with your brother. You're going to have a lot of passive aggressive things going on. That's just normal and healthy. But when it becomes a clear danger to somebody else, I have to get really, really concerned. You get that, right?
Yes.
Okay. So do I have to worry about releasing you and putting anybody in a dangerous situation again?
Probably.
I do have to worry about it?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel like it's safer for you to stay here than go home?
Yes.
Okay. You just want to stay here for a little bit longer and then reassess it? Or are you sure? Are you pretty sure it's going to stay like this forever?
It's going to stay like this forever.
See, I don't want to hear that. Okay. Well, I mean, if you're asking me to keep you here, just kind of settle down a little bit more, I don't mind doing that. Okay. I want to work with you. So at this point, you want me to just set this for a week from now, and then we can reassess it and just go by week by week basis until you feel comfortable going home? Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
And as long as you're level 1 outstanding and you're taking medication, then as soon as you ask me to, I'm okay with releasing you, okay? But I appreciate your honesty with me. I appreciate your self-awareness, that you're trying to do what's best for you and for your family. That means a lot for me. So that's why I'm giving you the keys to get out whenever you want. But you have to take your medication. You have to be level 1 outstanding, okay?
Good.
So as long as you keep your behavior level up and do what you're supposed to do, then you decide how long you stay here, okay?
I'll talk to her, Judge, and get to the bottom of her concern.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hall. Abigail, thank you. Tell your attorney or tell Ms. Blair if you ever feel like it's time for you to go home. As long as you're taking your medication, level 1 outstanding, you go home whenever you want, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. Rontez Otis. Mr. Otis, I'm Judge Kim. This is a 10-day hearing deciding whether you stay here or you go home. If you stay here, you'll see a judge every 10 days. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. You're level 1 outstanding as of 2 days ago. So, Ms. Young, how far did his behavior level drop?
Actually, Judge, he has been maintaining level 1 outstanding for quite some time. It's been that way for a while.
Okay. All right, so he is on probation for determined sentence, aggravated robbery.
Yes.
And he cut off his EM and took off. How long was he on the EM for before he ran?
He was on EM for 6 months, and then he cut it off on November 22nd. And he stayed amiss out there in the community for approximately 1 year.
Oh, November 22nd of 2019.
Yes, that's right.
And so he's gone for a year. That just gives you no opportunity to supervise him.
That's right, Judge.
Do we have a court date set for Rontez?
Yes, Judge. He is currently scheduled for a determinate sentence hearing at 8:30 on the 20th before Your Honor.
That's for a revocation?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Otis. My problem is, do we have a parent here? Yes. Hi, Mom. Mr. Otis, I'm so glad you're level 1 outstanding, but you were absconding for like a year. Right? I'm just worried that if I let you go, you'll be gone for another year before we can. Well, I'm not saying that you will. I'm saying I'm worried, right? And you understand why I have that concern. It's because you've done it before. Now, Mr. Otis, do you have a question for me, or do you want to tell me something?
Judge, can I speak for him?
Yes, sir.
The last detention hearing we had, I brought up the point that Mr. Otis has been level 1 outstanding for over 2 months. And the conversation ended with you saying you were going to look at the underlying offense and you were inclined to release him after you were looking at, I don't know what happened after that because I was in Virginia, but obviously he's still here. But I'm just saying the last detention hearing we have had, you were entertaining the idea of releasing him.
Yeah, I think, Mr. Houston, what happened is I asked for the file and the social history was not in there. So I asked for the social history that was used during the disposition. And if I remember, I was wondering if the facts of the aggravated robbery were particularly bad or not. And if I recall correctly, they were particularly egregious. It was either a clear danger to somebody. I think it was whether it was my big concern was whether it was a real gun or not, and whether a gun was used or not. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was a real gun and it was fired.
No.
So, I may be wrong, but I know I did ask for the social history and the case file, and I did look at that. But that was like the day after the hearing, because I would have released him the next day. So, all right, but Ms. Houston, no. Thank you for bringing it back up, but yeah, I'm afraid that it's, we'll lose him for another year if I let him go. All right, so, anyways, thank you, Mr. Otis. All right, we have Jordan Saunders.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. All right.
Judge, I can't see myself. Can you hear me?
I cannot see you, but I can hear you, and that's good enough. All right, Mr. Saunders, I'm Judge Kim. This is a 10-day hearing. I'm deciding whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, you have to see a judge every 10 days. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Ms. Taylor, you requested this detention hearing, and so for what purpose?
Mr. Saunders is, I'm sorry, I was seeing an error message on my screen. Mr. Saunders is set to have a psychological evaluation tomorrow, and he has been in custody since November. he came in very quickly, like 5 days after you put him on probation. But I noticed in the review today, in the report today, he was negative when he came into the detention facility on November 25th. It's my understanding he's level 1. He's maintained. I saw in the detention report.
Ms. Taylor, was he negative or did he refuse the drug test?
That was my understanding, but in reviewing Mr. Jennings' report, yes, my client, I'm showing on page 3 of the report, it's saying that their most recent drug tests last 90 days, and I'm showing one was administered on the 28th, and he was negative for all substances. So I'm not sure where.
28th of what month?
November 28th, 2020.
Okay, but that's 3 days after he refused.
Okay.
Right, so, Mr. Jennings, did I ask for a hair follicle test?
Your Honor, I was not the assigned officer at that time. Reading the chronologicals from the court intake officer, that was not within the notes of the chronologicals.
Okay, Jordan's dad is here. Is that correct? I think I saw him before.
He is, Judge.
Okay. Dad, are you here?
Sorry, I had to unfreeze the speaker.
No, that's all right. All right, so
I
Dad,
am here.
I have a quick question for you.
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
Does Jordan have any African-American lineage?
Not to my knowledge,
Okay.
no.
All right, so Mr. Jennings, let's go ahead and get a hair follicle test. Since he refused, waited 3 days before submitting a sample. I'm just concerned that he was trying to wait for his body to metabolize any controlled substances, right? And so we'll just wait for we'll take a hair follicle. That'll go back 6 months, Ms. Taylor. That gives us a better idea. If he's using street drugs like he was back in October, then I'm very concerned about releasing him.
I understand, Your Honor. Thank you.
So I'm just not comfortable releasing him right now. Given the history of drug use, given the fact that he was just placed on probation for a felony, picks up a new offense, this is a safety of the community as well as a safety of the child issue if he's using street drugs. Dad, I hope you understand where I'm coming from.
May I speak? But the new offense, excuse me, to my knowledge so far is that he was out past curfew, but actually there was no curfew that was actually assigned at that point, and his mother had knowledge of him being out.
So
and
I'm gonna let you know that curfew is what's called a status offense and really doesn't bother me, okay? What bothers me about curfew violations is the parents don't supervise them, but if the parents give permission to be out, then that's fine. I have a problem with curfews. The problem with Jordan's is that there are people, there was male with a backpack, triggered a Ring doorbell after they noticed the camera. Police went over, looks like a welfare check, found Jordan and 3 other people. Let's see, hold on a second.
Yeah.
And they found items stolen from the victim's car. So, a purse, another purse, a tablet, another tablet, and so another vehicle in the neighborhood was found with its windows broken, although nothing was taken. And then one of the suspects said that all were involved in checking the vehicles for property. And so that's why. So it's not just a curfew, this is breaking into cars and stealing.
Right, and those stolen items that apparently were stolen were in a vehicle that my son was not in. So
yeah, that's irrelevant.
So when all parties were involved, we don't know if all parties in the vehicle were involved. We don't know what they're really saying. But once again, I'm not here to dictate that. Correct. Correct. Yeah. My apologies.
This is all about whether there's probable cause.
I do have a question though. We did have this court date a day early because it was under my impression that it wasn't going to be able to be administered after his psych evaluation. I don't know if that is true or not.
I don't know if that's true or not either.
That's why I requested this, Judge. I'd actually last week requested a attorney requested a detention hearing for after his psychological evaluation because Judge Porter indicated if he kept his behavior up, he wasn't going to release him prior to the psych evaluation, but he would consider his release after. So I tried to get it scheduled for tomorrow afternoon, but it got put on the docket at 10:30 tomorrow. His psych eval is at 9. And I know Jordan wanted this hearing, so I figured the best thing to do was respectfully requested a day early. And if the court were inclined to release, we would ask that the release order be for tomorrow evening after his psych eval.
Yeah, not with the drug history. I want the fact that he refused. I mean, had he actually submitted a sample, that may be different. But when he's refusing, that puts up giant red flags for me. But we're kind of Jordan, you kind of put yourself in the situation by refusing a UA. Okay. All right. So Jordan, I'm going to go detain you. We'll do a hair follicle test. We'll see what kind of drug use you've been using or not, hopefully not using. Right.
May I say something, Your Honor?
No. Do you have a question for me or do you want to tell me something?
I'm just a little concerned about how this.
That's not a start of a question. I don't mind giving the courtesy of answering a question, but the parent does not have a right to speak or present at these hearings. Right. So again, if you have a question, I'll give you the courtesy of answering your question.
Well, it's just what's being presented to me. I'm a little concerned
about it. That's not a question. Do you understand what the question is?
Well, maybe if I say what I'm saying, I can get to my question.
So you don't have a question yet. So
it is a question.
We'll see. No, it's not a question. All right. Thank you, sir. DeCorian Titus.
Still black, Judge. I can't get my camera to start back.
Oh, that's fine, Ms. Taylor. Thank you. The question is a question. It starts with who, what, when, where, how.
Yeah, why? I didn't even get the opportunity to ask.
Sir, so will you stop interrupting me? Your child is gone. Is no longer a child in this hearing.
Correct. But you didn't give me the opportunity to ask.
And you have no right to ask a question. Please stop talking or I'll find you in contempt of court.
Okay, you're sorry. I'm sorry.
Mr. Titus, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days and you have the right to see a judge every 10 days to make the decision whether to keep you or release you. Your attorney, Ms. Taylor, is here. Her camera is not working, but she is here.
Hi, DeCorian.
Hey. So, DeCorian. 16, you had an evading arrest case, which you got supervisory caution for. Back in December, police pulled over a vehicle, smelled weed, searched the vehicle. Behind the front passenger seat where you were sitting, they found a backpack that had 2 firearms, and you had a warrant for murder. Back in September, victim was shot, pronounced deceased. Witness gave a description on shell casing in the street. Witness said the vehicle was driven by. Several shots hit the victim and fled. Local cameras located the vehicle. The witness saw DeCorian in the front passenger seat, and witness said that Mr. Toure and DeCorian shot the victim. So, all right, and evidently you're a member of the blood gang. All right, we're set for adjudication disposition. DeCorian, I'm just, the level of offense that we're looking at. I appreciate your level 1 outstanding, but I'm just very concerned about the safety of the community as well as the safety of yourself if I was to release you. This is a homicide case. Of course, I'm worried about retaliation from either victim or other gang-related activities. So I think it's just best to keep you here, not to take you. Thank you, DeCorian.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes, Ms. Taylor. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you very much.
Rudy Valley.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Ms. Reyes. All right, Rudy. Judge Kim, detention hearing, been here for 10 days, reviewing case. You're level 3 confined. So I'm going to go ahead and detain you. Thank you, Mr. Valley. this point, okay. So at this point, I'm going to turn the docket over to Judge Porter, and he will resume these detention hearings. I'll be back for the last one, who is under 14. Thank you, everyone.
Judge, what do you want us to do about Hussein? Have you heard anything?
Oh, that's right. Hussein, is the family still here? Did they get there?
No, Your Honor, they're planning to come back tomorrow.
Okay.
And they'll be in the building this time.
Okay, that works out. Ms.
Okay.
Keenan, are you gonna be able to come? Like, you can still do through Zoom. They'll be in the parent courtroom.
Well, I'm technically not their attorney of record. It's James Graham.
I understand. All right,
So
thank you, Ms. Keenan.
if y'all need me, I can be here, but otherwise, keep, if y'all can notify him.
I appreciate it.
Okay, thanks.
All right, good morning, everyone. Charisma Diane Carter. Good morning, Ms. Craven. How are you?
Good morning, Judge Porter. I'm well, thank you. How about you?
Better than I deserve. Good morning, Charisma. My name is Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney, and your attorney, Ms. Craven, is here. You have been level 1-0 for the past 6 days. That is awesome. You're scheduled for a motion to modify hearing before actually me on the 29th. Is that correct, Ms. Craven?
Yes, sure.
All right. Charisma, keep up the excellent work of your behavior in the back. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you doing that because I know it's not easy. So I appreciate you being level 1 outstanding. I'm going to order you be detained today because of your history of running away. You understand that. But I'll see you again in about a week and a half, and we'll see how things go, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, everybody. That would be the order of the court.
Your Honor, may I be excused?
Yes, ma'am. Good to see you.
Thank you.
See, Marco Chazaretta.
In that youth right now, Judge.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, Mrs. Oihe. How are you?
I'm good, Your Honor. How are you?
Oh, better than I deserve. That's for sure. All right.
Chazaretta.
Judge Porter, who are you waiting on?
Marco Chazaretta.
Okay, that's not me.
Judge, while we get that young man, if you wanted to go to the next one, we can do that right now, and that young man is en route.
All right. Is Caleb ready? Caleb Dickerson?
Caleb. Come on, sir, you're up. You're up.
Sounds like Caleb was not ready. I know Mr. Adeniji was here. Is he still here?
He's still here, Judge.
All right, there you are.
You're going before it. All right, Judge. Mr. Caleb's here.
Thank you. Are you Mr. Dickerson?
Yes.
Mr. Dick? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Sorry
Thank
about
you.
that, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Dickerson, my name is Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney, and your attorney, Mr. Adeniji, is here. Judge Kim went over the levels in the back with you, didn't he?
Yeah.
What's your level?
Right.
What's your level? Mr. Dickerson, what's your level in the back?
Your Honor.
2. What's your level supposed to be?
A 1-0.
Uh-huh.
1-0 today.
But it's not, is it?
Your Honor, may I give you an update on the case?
Yes, ma'am.
At his 10-day detention hearing, it was around December the 30th. Judge Kim had ordered for Metro Care to find a placement for Caleb by 5 p.m. that day, and they weren't able to, and so I contacted CPS. Since I contacted CPS, CPS Metro Care have been working together, and they're going to place Caleb in a group home. He has IDD and autism, and so we're just waiting to hear back from the supervisor of the group home when they'll be able to accept Caleb.
All right.
Yes, sir. So he was supposed to, or should have probably been released sooner, but we were just trying to find an adequate placement for him.
All right. Then sounds like it is not appropriate to release him at this time. So I'm going to order that he be detained. Y'all can get those ducks in a row. Then we'll take it up. Yes, sir, Mr. Anigi.
I'm not sure if the mom is here and if she has anything to tell the court.
Mom is here. It's the Caleb and Samaria.
Yes, I'm here.
Do you have anything to tell the court?
No.
Judge, the last time the judge was, I believe, inclined to release him, but the question is where to release him to. And the mom was hesitant because she wasn't sure if she says come home, there won't be problems. And that was the resolution that the CPS and the group of Metro, Dallas Metro should find a place. And a week after, we're still back to square one. And Caleb is getting frustrated. And I believe that's why we're having the problems in the back, because of his psych condition, not because of any other thing. So
nonetheless, do we have all our ducks in a row yet?
Unfortunately, no. I just want the mom to hear that it's not that the court just wants to keep him, and that the court does understand his circumstances, and there's just no choice here in terms of where he's going to be.
All right, Mr. Adeniji is correct. So that'll be the order of the court. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Judge.
Is Marco Cesaretta ready?
Yes, sir, he's coming.
Good morning, Marco. How are you?
Good, and you?
I'm okay. We've met before. My name's Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney, and your attorney, Ms. YYYYY, is here. Marco, I'm personally familiar with you. Let's see. If the court coordinator will remove the person designated KLABNSAMARIA at Gmail, and just remove that person from this hearing. Their behavior is such that they're disruptive. Thank you. All right, Marco. I'm personally familiar with your history and the fact that you were placed on probation by this court. Your level in the back is level 2 acceptable, correct?
Yes, sir.
What do I have to do?
Detain me.
Why?
Because of my level.
Uh-huh. What does your level have to be before I can consider your release?
1-0.
All right. You know what you got to do, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. That'll be the order of the court. Thank you, Marco. Thank you, Ms. Uzoehe.
Thank you, Anna.
Martin Herrera. Good morning, Martin. How are you?
Good.
My name's Judge Porter, but you already knew that. We know each other. Law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney. And is Ms. McGonigal here?
I am, Your Honor.
All right. Okay. So, Martin, you've been level 1-0 since the 9th of this month. However, you have a history of cutting off your EM. And also, I know your history of being a flight risk. And I'm afraid that if I were to release you today on the electronic monitor, you'd just cut it off and run again. Ms. McGonigal, any thoughts?
Well, Your Honor, I understand the court's concerns about Martin and his monitor prior bad deeds. But I would ask that he be allowed to go home. His behavior in detention this time has been significantly better than it has been in previous days. And you did order him to participate in some programs. Due to being in detention, he is not able to participate in those programs. So we have court next Friday. I'd ask that he be released in order to get the evaluation for FPP completed that was ordered back in November.
All right.
Judge
Thank you.
Porter, can I say something as well? He has court for River Oaks on the 21st, and he also has a very important art meeting with the school on the 19th that he has to be present in order for us not to reschedule. And the reason why it's an important one is because it's an every 3-year annually one. So it's the one that just redoes his whole, it's like a big school. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's just an important art meeting that I really would like not want to reschedule, just for the fact that I'm trying to get him to find out what we have to do to get him caught up for his credits and see what the accommodations are gonna have for him, etc. And then also he has his court on the 21st for River Oaks, but just for something that happened prior before all of these court hearings and whatnot. And then also my friend opened up her own store, and I talked to her about having him work part-time to help keep him out of trouble or keep him busy. Martin, so strange. He gets upset when he's bored and can't be still. But she wants to talk to him to consider, having him clean up the store and stock up shelves if he gets to come home.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Martin, your history, those are all good points made by your attorney and your mom, but your history tells me that if I were to release you, you'd cut off your monitor and you'd run away again. And I can't release you if I believe you're gonna not come back to court when you're supposed to. So I'm gonna order you continue to be detained. That's the order of the court. Thank you. All right, Ms. Page. Are you Ms. Page?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Page, my name is Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney, and your attorney, Ms. Herrick, is here. Do you see her on the screen?
Hi, Kaylin.
Hey.
All right. The court has previously found that probable cause exists to believe that you engaged in delinquent conduct sufficient to warrant your initial detention at this facility. However, since then, your behavior level is currently too acceptable. Is that
Your
correct?
Honor, I don't want to interrupt you, but we can
Yeah, but
fast
you do.
track
But
this.
you do.
She's already
Really
been
do.
adjudicated and she's just waiting for placement. So I just am wondering if we have a date yet for when she'll be able to go.
We don't have a specific date.
Okay.
Lisa. It's just that with interstate compact, because she's going to another state, we're waiting for that process to go through.
I see.
I was told it would be probably 2 weeks from the adjudication date, which was
Okay.
the 7th.
Yeah.
So we're probably looking no sooner than the 21st.
Okay.
Thanks, Dana.
Ms. Page, what can we do to get from level 2 acceptable to level 1 outstanding?
They looking into that because it wasn't really my fault. So,
Okay, but moving past that, what can we do going forward to get to that level 1 outstanding so that when you leave here as a level 1 outstanding, the absolute possible best?
I guess follow directions.
Okay, and be more specific. What in the past has caused you to lose 1 or more points for not following directions? What specifically?
I guess not putting my mattress on the slab.
Okay, so you can fix that problem, right?
Yes.
Okay, what are the other little steps you can do to get to level 1 outstanding? Because I want to make sure you're outstanding when you leave here, right?
Yes.
Are you willing to work toward that?
Yes.
All right, make it happen for me, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Ms. Eric. All right, Jamarian Jarrell Ransom.
Yes,
Is Mr.
sir.
Houston still here?
I'm here.
There we go. All right, Mr. Ransom, my name is Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. This is your 10-day hearing. You have the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney, and your attorney, Mr. Houston, is here. Do you see him on the screen?
Sir.
Pardon?
Yes, sir.
All right. You're level 1 outstanding as of this morning. The court has previously found that probable cause exists to believe that you engaged in delinquent conduct sufficient to warrant your initial detention. More specifically, the court has received information that you may have been part of an armed robbery at a Metro PCS store, and a bunch of y'all worked together, allegedly. And then when you were caught, you gave a false name to the police officers and a false date of birth. Once they discovered your real identity, they learned you were a runaway out of Dallas and on probation out of Dallas. And one of your cohorts was allegedly in possession of a loaded Glock. Yes, Mr. Victorson.
I just wanted to make sure that you're aware that Child Protective Services is participating, as well as the probation officer from Dallas. Dallas has an active DTA for Mr. Jamarian in the event that you were to release him.
All right. Mr. Houston, what are your thoughts?
Well, my client's been in custody, I believe, for 71 days. He is level 1 outstanding. He has to be released and he can handle his doubt stuff.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Houston.
Your Honor, this is the PO from Dallas County. We are just asking to see if we can transfer disposition so we can just process the case over here.
Well, that'll be taken up at a different hearing, not at a detention hearing. You know that, right?
Yeah.
All right.
That's the plan anyway, Your Honor.
As for today of whether you should be detained or released, Mr. Ransom, you got a certificate. What does your certificate say?
I've been on level 3 times. Well, the only reason I get my level, I said level 3. I mean level 1.
I know what you meant.
Yeah, level 1. I mean, the only reason I lose.
But don't tell me why you fell off level 1, because that's bad stuff. You only talk about good stuff, because if you start talking about bad stuff, the DA is listening. They're going to take notes and they're going to use it against you in the future. But if you only talk about the good stuff you use, then I don't think your attorney will mind. But only talk about good stuff, or if you can ask me a question. All right? Don't talk about bad stuff.
All right, yes, sir, I got you.
All right. But you hold that certificate up to the camera for me. All right. It says, what does it say? Certificate of Achievement. All righty. What's the date on it?
Let's say, it say January 3rd through January 9th.
All right.
7 days, right?
Okay. All right. But this underlying offense is way too scary. Plus, you got a history of runaway from Dallas County. At this time, I'm not inclined to release you, and I think you understand why. Keep up level 1 for me, because that puts your attorney in the best possible position to argue for the best possible outcome for you. Because if you fall to level 3, DA is going to bring a world of hurt on you, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. That's going to be the order of the court. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Wesley Smith. Morning, Miss Abels. How are you?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning,
Good
Judge. How are
morning,
you?
Mr. Reyes. ¿Cómo está?
Bien, ¿y usted?
Así, más o menos.
Bueno, feliz año, by the way.
Gracias. All right. Are you Mr. Smith?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Smith, my name is Judge Porter. The law says when you're brought into detention and initially detained, you must see a judge every 10 business days thereafter. The court has previously found that probable cause exists to believe that you engaged in delinquent conduct sufficient to warrant your initial detention. This is your 10-day hearing. You got the right to remain silent. You also have the right to an attorney, and your attorney, Ms. Abels, is here. You see her?
Hey,
No,
Wes,
yeah, I see her. Yeah, I see her.
Judge, his mom has been trying to get on since he started. Nobody's let her in.
Oh, well, how about that? Somebody gave me the authority to let people in. There we go. There's
There
There they are.
they are.
Okie, Miss Abels, talk
Yes,
to me.
sir. He's on level 3.
Anything else I need to consider?
Hey, I'm 3 outstanding. You know.
Oh, yeah, he's 3 outstanding. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a long talk the other night, and I do believe he went up from where he was when I talked to him Monday, but you know, I've told him if he doesn't care, you know, if we care more than he does, we can't do anything for him.
So, Mr. Smith, you and Judge Kim talked about the levels, right?
No, not really. He just detained me. He don't really say much.
Oh, okay. Well, have they talked to you what the different levels are in the back?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I know how the levels work. Yeah.
Okay. And what's the worst level? Level 1, level 2, or level 3?
3.
And what's the best level? Level 1, level 2, or level 3?
Level 1.
Okay. Judge Kim wants you to be at level 1. And within level 1, there are different grades. What's the best grade within level 1?
1-0.
Exactly, 1 outstanding. And that's what Judge Kim wants you to be at before we're supposed to consider you for release, okay?
Mhm.
So I am certain, I wasn't there for the conversation, but I am certain Ms. Abels talked to you about your need to get to level 1 outstanding, okay? What can you do to make that possible?
I don't know, just like, you know, follow the rules, don't talk, all that, you know.
You gonna try and do that?
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying. I'm gonna be a level 2 tomorrow. Like, I'm working my way up, you know, but.
Okay. Have you had a chance to talk to your parents?
Yeah, I call them on the phone every couple of days.
Okay. Well, because you're level 3, I have to order that you continue to be detained. But what I want you to do, I want you to keep working on your levels and keep having those phone conversations with your parents, okay?
All right.
All right, thank you, sir. That'll be the order of the court.
Thank
I'm going to turn it back
Thank you,
over.
Your Honor. May I be dismissed?
Thank you, Mr. Reyes.
Thank you, sir.
I'm now going to turn it back over to Judge Keel.
All right, thank you, Judge Porter. So, Texas Family Code, Chapter 5408 says that court proceedings are presumed to be open to the public. Unless the child is under 14, then the court must make a finding that the interests of the public or the interests of the child are better served by keeping the hearings open to the public. So at this point, unable to make such a finding, the court will now close these proceedings to the public by discontinuing the broadcast. Please wait 20 seconds for the tape delay. Tracy, we say tape delay because, you know, old school like us, we know what a tape delay is. Kids now back here.
I still say recording a TV show, and Jason's like, it's not recording anymore. Like, it is a recording.